First, I'll talk about joint ownership. That's the easiest case. That's a case where there is now one joint owner who is deceased, and then the asset just belongs to the surviving owner in that case. So the surviving owner will go to the bank with a death certificate, and then the bank will remove the decedent's name from the account.
Okay, so that is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The surviving owner just continues on, and now it's their account. Okay.
And a pay on death account is similar. The person who is designated as the beneficiary of that account will go to the bank with a death certificate, and the money will be released to them.
Okay, so same process, just go to the bank with your death certificate. You're going to have to show some ID, obviously. The bank's not just going to take your word for it that you are the person named in that beneficiary designation, but that's pretty logical. I think we all would have anticipated that you guys show up with your driver's license. Okay, another form of ownership is trust ownership. So the decedent's bank account is actually titled in the name of the decedent's trust. This one's another easy one. The successor trustee goes to the bank with his new certification of trust. That's just a document where he says, I am now the trustee of this trust, and here's my taxpayer ID number. They're going to get a new taxpayer ID number for this trust because we can't use the decedent's social security number anymore. That gets retired when you die. So our successor trustee shows up with certification of trust, new taxpayer ID number, and the bank will just take the money from the decedent's account and put it into a new account for the trustee of the trust with his new taxpayer ID number. And then he just goes on and he can write checks and make deposits, all the things. So that's another pretty straightforward one. And we got one more to tackle, Jessica.
Yes. And this last one is where it gets a little bit more complicated. This is when the owner owned the asset just outright in their name alone. And this means that they did not own it in a trust. They did not have a beneficiary designation on it. And if all of the assets that the decedent owned in its name alone total $184,500 or more, the person named as the executor in the decedent's will have to open a probate. They're going to have to get the court to issue letters testamentary. The executor will then take those letters to the bank. They'll have to get a new taxpayer identification number for the estate. They'll take that number to the bank as well. And then they will open an account in the name of the executor as the signer on the account. And this is the worst process. It takes the longest, it costs the most, and it's a probate. And we want to try and avoid that.
Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Absolute Trust Talk Live. If you enjoyed listening in, then don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you may listen by searching Absolute Trust Talk. While you're there, we would also love for you to leave us a review. And then why not share your favorite episodes with family, friends, or colleagues too? You can find all of our shows and corresponding show notes by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com. You'll also find a variety of other free resources, including our ebooks, videos, blogs, presentations, and more. If you need help with your estate planning or administration, we also offer a free discovery call to help get the process started. You can find more information on booking your session by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com/scheduling. Don't forget to keep an eye out for our next live episode. If you join us for the broadcast, you can submit questions during the show. But if not, don't worry. You can always get in touch with us by sending a quick message to info@absolutetrustcounsel.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you soon.